So far this year, Kelly Ripa has made numerous announcements regarding Live with Kelly and Mark. Her show's longtime producer is leaving. In November, the set will relocate, and in 2025, it will move permanently. She is now concluding one of her most popular parts, Live with Mark and Kelly, as they move in 2025. In 2025, Live with Kelly and Mark will relocate to a new studio location. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos have been diligently searching for potential homes, but they haven't chosen one yet. Prior to that, a significant shift will occur in November when Kelly and Mark travel to the West Coast. For the next month, Live with Kelly and Mark will record from Palm Springs while on vacation there. Tickets are available, and the episodes will be pre-recorded. However, the official studio transfer won't take place until 2025, possibly as late as the next season. That raises the question of how long Kelly Ripa will continue to appear on the show. She has made hints that she and her longtime producer, Art Moore, may choose to retire together. He didn't want to deal with the studio shift during his final months on the show. Therefore, it has been postponed. Moore has been with Live since nearly the start and has worked with a number of hosts, the most recent of which being Kelly. Kelly Ripa's final Halloween performance, the studio, where Live has been based for nearly 40 years, has been used to film its yearly Halloween special. Deja Vu, the show's announcer, declared that it was time to bid farewell to this cherished fan-favorite occasion. Over the following few months, the show will undergo numerous modifications, this being just one of them. This is an intriguing move that raises the question of whether Kelly Ripa is still thinking about retiring. Mark and Kelly have always dedicated a full episode to Halloween, demonstrating their affection for the event. But according to them, this is the final year that the event will be taped here. There are often entertaining skits and sketches in the program, and many TV and film celebrities participate. Everyone is dressed up for the enjoyable day, thus there are also lots of costumes. This entire sequence predates Kelly by a significant margin, having been shot at this studio for about 40 years. Even though this is the final time the episode will be shot at this studio, it might make a comeback in a different format at the new studio the following year. How do you feel about Kelly Ripa possibly concluding the Halloween episode, at least as it is now? The morning studio of Live with Kelly and Mark is usually a space of laughter, playful banter, and light-hearted chatter about celebrity gossip, kids, and quirky news stories. But on this particular morning, the energy felt different. Even the famously chatty studio audience noticed the subtle weight in the air as Kelly Ripa leaned a little closer to the desk. Her papers shuffled just so, as if she needed their comfort before making the announcement. Okay, everyone. Kelly began with her trademark mix of confidence and warmth, her blonde bob catching the studio lights. We've got some news today, and it's one of those bittersweet things. Mark Consuelos, her husband and co-host, glanced sideways at her. He knew it was coming, but his expression carried the kind of sympathy reserved for someone who understood how much this moment meant to her. The live audience, sensing the shift, fell quieter than usual. Even the producers in the wings stopped fussing with cameras and lights. Everyone wanted to hear what Kelly was about to say. You know how, for years, we've started our mornings with our inbox story segment? She said, her voice catching only slightly. Where do we read your letters, your emails, and, more recently, your DMs? Well, she paused, pressing her lips together. After a lot of discussion with our team, today is the last day we'll be doing it. Gasps echoed across the studio. For decades, the segment had been one of those constants in the ever-changing world of daytime television. Fans wrote in with stories about embarrassing family moments, relationship mishaps, cooking disasters, and heartfelt confessions. Kelly and her co-hosts over the years, Regis Philbin, Michael Strahan, Ryan Seacrest, and now Mark, always brought their own spin to the letters. Sometimes Kelly howled with laughter until she teared up. Other times she took a motherly tone, dispensing advice with a wink. It wasn't just a segment. It was a tradition. Kelly clasped her hands together. I know, she said, addressing the audience's collective groan. I feel the same way. I've loved reading your stories. Honestly, half the time I was just grateful I wasn't the one who accidentally wore two different shoes to work or set my kitchen towel on fire trying to flambe bananas. The audience chuckled softly, but the heaviness remained. Mark leaned in, trying to lighten the mood. Full disclosure, she has worn two different shoes to work before. We just edited that out. Kelly gave him a mock glare, then softened, grateful for his interruption. But she wasn't done. Look, the truth is, television is always changing. And as much as I would keep this segment forever, we're moving toward new things. We're trying some interactive features that will bring fans even closer into the show. And I promise you, you'll still have a voice here. It just won't be in quite the same form. She paused, searching the audience's faces. Some nodded in understanding. Others looked almost betrayed, as though an old friend had just announced they were moving away. One woman in the front row raised her hand, not part of the plan. But Kelly, she asked, what about all the stories people are still sending in? Kelly's eyes softened. We're still going to read them, she assured her. We're not ignoring your voices. They just might appear in different ways, on social media, in new live segments, maybe even in special audience features. The woman lowered her hand, mollified, though still visibly disappointed. Behind the scenes, the decision hadn't come lightly. The producers had debated for months. Ratings analysts argued that younger viewers preferred live interaction over letter reading. The digital team pushed for TikTok-style audience videos instead of emails. And Kelly, though resistant, eventually agreed, recognizing that the segment she adored might be holding the show back from innovation. Still, that didn't mean saying goodbye would be easy. To honor the moment, the producers had prepared something special, a highlight reel spanning decades of inbox stories. Suddenly, the screen behind Kelly and Mark lit up with clips of a younger Kelly, laughing with Regis over a letter about a runaway turkey on Thanksgiving. Then another with Michael Strahan reading a fan's confession about accidentally dyeing the family dog pink. Ryan Seacrest chuckling through tears at a woman who mistook her neighbor's car for her own and drove it 2 miles before realizing. And, of course, Mark's recent moment, reading aloud the infamous story of the man who accidentally texted his mother-in-law instead of his wife. The studio audience roared in laughter again, just as they had when it first aired. By the end of the montage, Kelly's eyes glistened. Well, she said, clearing her throat, that just made this harder. Mark slipped his hand over hers, giving it a squeeze. Kelly looked directly into the camera, as though addressing the millions of loyal viewers at home. I want to say thank you, really. You've trusted us with your most embarrassing, hilarious, and heartfelt stories. We've laughed with you, we've cried with you, and honestly, you've been the highlight of my mornings, so please don't stop writing us. Keep sending those wild stories, because I read them all, even if I can't read them on air anymore. The audience broke into applause. Some people even stood, clapping harder than they usually did for the celebrity guests. The applause wasn't just for the segment, it was for the years of connection it had created. As the show moved on, the sadness slowly gave way to acceptance. They still had Kelly and Mark, still had the unpredictable fun of morning television, still had the sense of community. But something would feel different from tomorrow onward. Later that afternoon, social media lit up. Fans flooded X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram with posts. Can't believe Kelly Ripa ended inbox stories. That was my favorite part of mornings. The end of an era. Thank you for all the laughs. If they replace it with TikTok dances, I'm out. Kelly made me feel like my life wasn't so crazy because someone else once glued their pants shut by accident. Kelly reposted one particularly sweet message from a longtime fan who had written, "Inbox stories got me through some hard times. It reminded me that laughter is everywhere, even in mistakes. Thank you, Kelly." That night at home, Kelly sat with Mark, curled up on their couch. The quiet of their Manhattan apartment was a stark contrast to the buzz of the studio. "You did good today," Mark told her gently. Kelly sighed, resting her head against his shoulder. "I just hope people don't feel like I let them down." "You didn't," Mark said firmly. You gave them 20 years of laughter. That's not letting anyone down. That's leaving a legacy. Kelly smiled softly. She knew he was right. Segments might end, shows might evolve, but the bond she had with her audience, the trust, the humor, the shared humanity, would always endure. And tomorrow, she would be right back at that desk, ready to make viewers laugh, even without the inbox stories. Because as Kelly Ripa had proven for more than 2 decades, the show wasn't just about the segments, it was about the connection. And that was something no format change could ever erase.